Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Aaron, and I am here with my good friend and mentor, Jason. And I'm going to interview him. This guy, Jason, he's made over 50 Bitcoin, and he's going to talk about the current state of Bitcoin, the current state of this new digital economy, and ways that you can grow your account without just trading it for dollars, right? So he's developed strategies to do this. So I'm going to hand it over to Jason, and he'll kind of share his story and what's up with what's going on.
Hey, what's up, Aaron? Thank you for
Hey,
having me,
man.
and
Absolutely.
thank you everyone for tuning in. I guess I'll just share my story real quick with you. I bought my first Bitcoin back in 2014, so about 3 years ago or so, 4 years ago, and Bitcoin was created in 2009. So I was 5 years late to the party, and I think that people really need to understand right now, if you're just getting into Bitcoin now, and it's 2018, you're incredibly late to the party. And there's a lot of catching up that you need to do. There's a lot of learning that you need to do, but you're not too late. And when I first got Bitcoin, it was 380 bucks, and I thought that I was too late. You know, the stories back then were, well, I could have got Bitcoin when it was $1 or $5 or $10, and nowadays I'm hearing people excited that they got Bitcoin for $12,000 or excited that they got Bitcoin for $10,000. It's just crazy to hear that, because back then, as an early adopter, you know, there was always talk about Bitcoin hitting $10,000. That was the magical number, $10,000. You know, and of course it did just recently, and that caused just this massive influx of people to come into the cryptocurrency space. So the entire thing has shifted, or it's changed. It's completely different than it was even 6 months ago. There's so many new people, and the focus is so much on money that people are tending to forget about what Bitcoin actually is, or the technology behind it. So if there's anything that I can share with you during this interview, it's just going to be, you know, what to actually look for, what to focus on as a Bitcoin investor or cryptocurrency investor, so you don't get caught up in the hype. Because what's happening right now is we're literally experiencing a modern day gold rush, a digital gold rush, as a result of the blockchain and Bitcoin. And just there's swarms of people with Bitcoins in their eyes just trying to get in and get quick, easy money. And that kind of mindset is short-term thinking. Shit-brained is what I call it. Because if you just slow down a little bit and focus on really what's going on here and the fundamental shifts that this technology is bringing to the world, and you start to look at the projects that are disrupting and decentralizing, you know, not just banks and governments, but other major industries, then you're going to become a smart investor and you're going to make it out big. So my goal with anybody I work with or teach or coach is to kind of give them a holistic perspective of what's going on here and help them figure out where they fit into this giant puzzle called the cryptoverse. So
Awesome. Yeah. So what are some of those bigger kind of more very important things that people should be focused on that maybe they aren't? Like what would you suggest, and what would you have people focus on who are new to this space?
well, first of all, I would focus on, you know, where do you get your information from? Who are you listening to? Because it's a very noisy space, and there's a ton of information. There's a ton of data to sift and sort through every single day. I can't tell you how much information that I'm bookmarking or saving or deleting or throwing away, how many groups I've joined, how many Telegram channels, how many Slacks, how many ICOs I've looked at, how many different tokens I've looked at. And I think what people really need to focus on right now is a way, or multiple ways, as I like to teach, to get as much Bitcoin as you possibly can, because there's two major challenges that people are facing. Number one is a lack of knowledge, and number two is a lack of capital. Now, if you're somebody that already has $150,000 or $250,000 or $1 million to throw it at cryptos, then you're already set. You're going to have a lot of liquidity, and you're going to be able to move in and out of different tokens and coins and invest in a lot of different things. And the reason why I say that is because there are these, you know, smaller up and coming cryptocurrencies. So if you think it's too late for Bitcoin, there is just this massive tidal wave of projects and tokens coming up on the blockchain that are literally making people overnight millionaires in the blink of an eye, faster than we've ever experienced before. So the velocity of money is speeding up. The amount of opportunity that is available to us is bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you think you're missing out on Bitcoin, You're not at all. You may have missed out on getting Bitcoin at an early price, and you can still buy some, but we can show you, 100 other investments where you could have that kind of potential, because believe it or not, it's happening again and again and again and again. So it's definitely a really exciting time to be alive. But if you don't understand the marketplace or the cryptoverse, or if you don't have a lot of capital, you need to become creative. You need to get creative. And that's what I sought out to do right away. So when I first invested in Bitcoin, I took half of that investment and immediately I invested in Bitcoin mining equipment, because I knew that this was going to be valuable someday. I knew that it was going to be more valuable, and I wanted to figure out, how do I get more of these? How do you get more Bitcoin? So the first thing I looked at was how they were created. The problem with mining, if you do it yourself, it's very technical, it's very expensive, and if you're not like a computer programmer or kind of a gamer or a hacker, you're probably going to face a lot of challenges with it. That and the electrical costs and the heat that it creates. So Bitcoin mining has became a really big business. And one of my friends he is in charge or operates one of the largest Bitcoin mining operations in the world, him and his partners. So I just outsourced that to him. I said, hey, dude, you know what you're doing. Can I just invest in your company? And can you just pay me, these residuals in Bitcoin? So, it's deals like that you can set up with people. And then it's got a referral program, kind of like Uber, where I recommend, someone get Bitcoin mining equipment through him, and then I get paid bonuses. So if you're entrepreneurial, the amount of opportunity that is available to you right now is astounding. So after I started to figure out Bitcoin mining, I started earning more of this Bitcoin. I thought, well, what are some other ways that I can get Bitcoin? Because this is still kind of a slow process. It takes time. It's a long-term thing to mine Bitcoin. But I know that people are making a lot of money trading and investing in these altcoins. So, I went to the markets and I had a big win my first time. And it hasn't always been the case, but I had a really big win, and I invested in an altcoin. And an altcoin, if you're new, is just basically a coin that's not Bitcoin. I invested in an altcoin or a project called Steem, and it's a social media site powered by the blockchain called Steemit. And I picked up a couple thousand shares of this token at 7 cents because I knew that it was going to be something big. There was a lot of buzz around it. I was in the Slack channel, and people were excited about it, and I kept seeing the posts from Steemit everywhere, and I'm like, man, how do I invest in this thing? So I figured out how to create an account on these exchanges, and this was all new to me, keep in mind. If you're new to this was all like learning a different language, but there was an exchange called Bittrex, and I created an account there, and I went and took some of that Bitcoin that I'd earned, and I bought this token called Steem. I kept watching it, and about 3 or 4 days later, it went from 7 cents to $2, and then $3 and $4, and finally, I think it peaked at about $4.35. I think I sold it right around $4, and I made enough money in that one single trade that I could just live off the rest of the year. So I ended up, I packed up my bags. I was in Hawaii at the time, and I went to Mexico for like 6 months, and I was just kind of just learning all this Bitcoin cryptocurrency stuff as I was traveling around, having a lot of fun, surfing, going to the jungle, eating lots of tacos. I was living off of Bitcoin, and people had no idea what it was, but I had my BitPay debit card. So I had a very expensive vacation, to be honest with you. If I had to go back and do that all over again, I probably wouldn't do it. I probably would have just buckled down and focused on it. So after the trading, after I started figuring out started doing this trading stuff, I got kind of addicted to it. I'm like, man, this is cool. I can make a lot of money this way. This is very easy. Didn't work out so well. I ended up losing like tens of thousands of dollars, and it wasn't fun. You go to bed at night after experiencing a big loss like that. You feel like a gambler. You feel like you just want to get back to the poker table and get all that money back, but it doesn't work out that way. So, I think that we all have these tendencies inside of us when it comes to quick, easy money, especially if we had a big win the first time. So I had a few more wins after that trading, and I'm still learning how to do trading, learning how to do technical analysis. I've got all this different software and things. But what I discovered, and this is really cool, and this is what people need to understand, is that a lot of the trading that's happening with Bitcoin right now, it's actually done by artificial intelligence or bots. So I started learning more about bots and this software, and I wanted to figure out, I would buy different bots. I would, get subscriptions to different ones, and I would test them out. They were really difficult and really technical. They were hard to understand, and I would sign up for these things called signals. So basically, my phone would beep every time I needed to buy or sell a currency. But even then, I didn't like being woken up at 3 or 4 in the morning because I'm not on the East Coast, and that's where a lot of it goes down. So I found a friend who, had this bot in this company, and I decided to invest in him. And he said he'd give me returns anywhere between 1% and 2%. I could get returns through this. So I just wanted something more stable and more secure like that. And again, this also had a business component to it. So if I could refer people to it, then I could earn Bitcoin. I could earn these commissions. So I just started investing more and more Bitcoin into things like that. So, more programs like this, and I just have several of them going for me now. So instead of just buying and holding Bitcoin with Coinbase, which, if you have a lot of money, is really good for you, but the majority of people don't. The majority of people nowadays can barely even afford one Bitcoin. That's a very large chunk of change for the average person to throw $20,000 into Bitcoin. So I like to teach people some of these alternative ways that I've discovered. And those are just a few right off the top of the bat. I have more, but to answer your question, that's kind of like what I've been doing. And I ended up earning, like last year, over 35 Bitcoin just doing this stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And I kept hearing about what you were up to and some of these different bot trading platforms, and I finally listened, and I've been very impressed with all these different ways to earn Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, Aaron. Bitcoin is it's very volatile. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. And during these swoops, these up and down swoops, people that know what they're doing are literally making millions and millions of dollars as Bitcoin continues to do this. And this is the way it's been for a long time. And I don't know if it'll ever change. I know with the introduction of CMEs or the Wall Street futures, that they're actually, in a sense, trying to control the price of Bitcoin, but I actually think that's backfiring on them. So. And we're not even getting into the altcoins or the other cryptocurrencies. So it's important that you develop a holistic perspective of this entire industry. But it's important that you understand that Bitcoin is the king, and the name of the game right now is to get as much Bitcoin as you can. Because if you have like 50 or 60 or 100 Bitcoins sitting in your wallet, then you can start to diversify and distribute these into all these awesome projects that have not just 1% or 2% gains, but 1,000% gains. You know what I mean? But before you do that, you need that financial stability. You need to know that, hey, when I log into my account today, or I log into my wallet today, I'm gonna have more Bitcoin in there from this and that and this and that. So multiple streams of Bitcoin is what I like to teach people.
Awesome. I think most of us have heard that phrase, multiple streams of income, but now we're in the Bitcoin world, so it's multiple streams of Bitcoin. And yeah, no, I agree with you. That's where it's at, is having multiple ways of getting paid Bitcoin, so you can use it and then grow it and then invest it in different projects. So I second that. I think it's great.
That's the key to freedom, and there's a lot less stress when you wake up and you know that you're going to have Bitcoin coming in. The people that are trying to everybody's trying to be a trader nowadays. This is true. Everybody's trying to be a trader, but they don't understand what that entails or what that takes. And when it's a bull market, when everything's going up and up and up, and you get into something at the right time, then that's great. You may have had a lucky victory or a win, but if you don't understand charting and technical analysis and the fundamental analysis, the news of what's going on behind certain cryptocurrencies, and if you don't understand the culture, like there's these people called whales, and they hold tremendous amounts of Bitcoin, and they can move markets. They can literally go in a coin that's very cheap, and they can pump it up as high as they want, and they can take everybody's money and then sell. It's dangerous out there. It's like swimming with the sharks. People don't understand that. So this is what I'm saying. We are in the wild, wild west, the digital wild, wild west. People are running around with Bitcoins in their eyes. They're thinking easy, quick money, and they're not taking the time to slow down and look at what's really happening and just be a smart investor. So if there's anything that I can teach people besides setting up these multiple streams of Bitcoin, is how to be a smart investor.
Right, and being a smart investor is setting up these multiple streams of consistent daily income. And I think that's one of the big takeaways that I'm hearing from you, is not to get into this, thinking that you can trade your way to massive success. I mean, I surely have lost more than I'd like to share on stupid trades. So
The
Um,
key, the key is to have your hands in different things, not all your eggs in one basket. Learn how to get invested in Bitcoin mining or cryptocurrency mining, because that's going to be a passive income source and it's profitable. Learn how to use these bots or this artificial intelligence to your advantage. Learn about some of these compounding programs that work kind of like I wish my bank account would work. I could just deposit Bitcoin into these things and I could turn them on and have other people trade it for me, or I can make these loans on exchanges and just receive daily payouts. So there's a dozen ways to earn Bitcoin, but there's only a few really solid ways that I've discovered. And one of the things I look for when I'm looking for this is leadership. Because there's been many cases where companies have launched or ICOs have launched, and within a couple of days, everybody's money is gone. So it's important that you partner with industry veterans or people who have been around the game for a while, so they know how to spot these things. They have a good business intuition, you know what I mean? If you partner with a leader, they're not just trying to make themselves rich or make you rich, they're trying to develop more leaders because they understand the power of duplication. So I'm fortunate enough to, in every single business that I work, that I have leaders, that I partner with, and they have big groups and big teams, and they're supporting them, so they're not just leaving people hanging high and dry on the business side.
right, and maybe we can segue into those people that are indeed watching us right now who are thinking, gosh, that's me. I'm new. I want to learn more about these multiple streams of Bitcoin. I don't see myself as a professional trader, but I want to capitalize on this amazing time we're living in. I think that's where I was just a few months ago. That's where a lot of people are right now watching this. So what should the message be to these people? I know we do have some opportunities, but I want you to kind of go into those. Yeah.
Well, social capital, I would really learn how to leverage your network. Find some sort of a program that will allow you to leverage not just the people around you, but I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but there's a massive tidal wave of people coming into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies right now. I think about 1 to 3% of people in the world are invested in Bitcoin. And, I'm a big data guy, so I get emails about Google search alerts and Google Trends. I always do, and I have for years, and it's typically political stuff or celebrity gossip or, the Seattle Seahawks, stuff like that. But lately, over the past 30 days or so, I was shocked when I saw how to buy Bitcoin and Coinbase and Litecoin come up through these Google search trends. That's when I knew that the herd was coming. And I like to position it like this. During the original California gold rush, do you know who made the most money, Aaron?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, it wasn't the miners. Okay, so everybody was, going crazy. They were trying to find gold. It's this idea of instant gratification, quick, easy money. So, thousands of people are literally flocking to the mountains to pan for gold, and most people came out with hardly anything. Maybe some frostbite or some sort of illness or even death, but most people didn't come back with what they thought they were going to get. But there was one man, and you probably know who this is if you're watching this, who was selling tools to the miners, and that man was Levi Strauss, and his legacy is still around today. Some of you might even be wearing his jeans, but Levi had figured out the greater opportunity within the opportunity. So I've always been someone that goes against the grain. And when the masses start to pour in or pile in, I'm more or less, as an entrepreneur, looking for a way to serve them or help them or capitalize on that sort of an opportunity. Because I could just buy and hold Bitcoin, and yes, Bitcoin's an awesome technology. Yes, Bitcoin could be worth $1 million someday. But what about the millions and millions of people that are searching for Bitcoin right now? What can I do for them? Is there any sort of affiliate program or something that I can offer them using my marketing skills and my skills as an entrepreneur to actually earn Bitcoin and help them go through the process? So that's kind of where I would focus right now, and that's why I've created an entire training platform, and I help people learn how to take advantage of not just Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but the actual how to position themselves in front of this financial shift or this monumental financial event that is happening right now, right before our very eyes. So that was a long-winded answer, but there you have it.
Right on. So a lot of people are probably saying, I want to learn, I want to learn, I want to be mentored by you, Jason. Maybe, you know, we have a lot to teach people, and I know that we've both been through a lot ourselves. So um, I don't know how to phrase this other question, but yeah. So all the people that want to work with us, like how or want to learn from us, not necessarily work with us, like things that we can teach them. I think, what would you say?
Well, I think that we have an application process on this page, but I just kind of want to tell you what that looks like. Back when I first started talking about Bitcoin years ago, and I would make Facebook posts about it and whatnot, everybody thought I was crazy. Okay, the last couple of months, all of those same people, I couldn't tell you how many people are messaging me about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So I started trying to work with them one-on-one and trying to help them out, and it was just too much. I couldn't do it. I couldn't possibly help people in that way. So I then started creating Facebook groups and sharing information with people inside of there. So I think the best way that I could explain it is that we work with people in groups. So we bring people into our world and we show them these businesses and we show them how to earn Bitcoin, but we really focus on the marketing training because it's really key. There's two things that are required in order for you to succeed in this industry. And number one is leadership. So that's being plugged into a mastermind or an inner circle of successful people that actually have a bunch of Bitcoin, that understand the industry, that aren't just spewing crap that they just read in some course or something they bought, because that's a big challenge in this industry. Is there's so many new people, and not just this industry. I think the internet has created this, the overnight or instant authority or expert, somebody that really doesn't have the experience or the lessons learned, but they're trying to get your money by saying something that they learned in some ebook. That's not what we're about. We've created a safe environment where we teach people the actual fundamental mindset and the technical skills that are required to build literally a Bitcoin empire. And if you learn how to do this and you focus really diligently for the next 2 to 5 years, you're never going to have to work a day in your life again. Whatever your passions are, whatever your dreams are, we want to help you fund that. So what we've done is we've created a community. And this brand here that you're looking at, Bitnetworker, is a training brand to help people that are entrepreneurial really take advantage of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and just this entire movement that's happening right now. So there's an application process below if you're interested in learning more, if you want to see some of our income vehicles. If you just fill out that application, Aaron will get in touch with you, or I'll get in touch with you, and we'll find out if this is something that you want to do, but we'll also show you the income streams that we're using on the other side of the page. So the reason why I'm so adamant about multiple streams of Bitcoin is because this is a relatively unregulated space, and you never know what's going to happen. And we've tried to put together the most profitable, the most reliable, and the opportunities that have the biggest, most leadership within them. And that's what we work. And what we do is we teach people how to market themselves, how to market their business, how to get in front of the search traffic of all the people that are searching for it on YouTube and Google and Facebook, etc. So that's kind of how it works.
Yeah, so we're both here to empower you, the watcher, the listener, to make you as most educated and ultimately as most successful as you can in the space, whatever success means to you. So anything else you want to share? I mean, I really appreciate you coming on here. I know you're really busy with a lot of projects. Anything else you want to finish up with or share?
Yeah, I guess with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, I just want to tell you to procrastinate later. It's very important that you act. If you were inspired by this video at all or this information at all, and you're one of those people that might not have $100,000 to throw at Bitcoin, but you might have a $5,000 or $10,000 or even $1,000, even $100 you can get started with. Then I would definitely fill out the application below and look a little bit more about the opportunities that we have available to you, and also our training systems, because it's very key. I think what people want the most, Aaron, is they want to know that they are a part of something and they're going to be supported in this new venture, which the lack of understanding, the lack of technical knowledge, and the amount of learning that you have to do, you're having to learn about an entire new ecosystem, an entire universe. It has its own rules. It has its own language. And that's not even talking about the technical part, you know, how to set up a Bitcoin wallet, how to send and receive Bitcoin, how to spend your Bitcoin. Most of the people that are already involved in cryptos or Bitcoin, they've had to go and find this all over the place, all over YouTube. And if you're not that technical, it's going to be a challenge for you. But if you're surrounded by people that are going to support you and help you out, then you're going to figure it out. It just takes time. It takes repetition. So the last thing I'd probably add is that there is just a tremendous amount of opportunity, but there's not a lot of time. There's just a small gap of 2 to 5 years while this whole blockchain thing comes online, where you can create, you know, really a lot of money in a very short amount of time. So I would take advantage of it and just go ahead and fill out that application below and see what we've got going on the other side. I think you'll be impressed.
Fantastic, man. Hey, once again, I want to really thank you for coming online and sharing your wisdom and knowledge with everyone that had the opportunity to watch. So thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you on the inside. Peace.
See you guys.